Hey guys, this is Patrick, and today I'm going to be talking to you about What's up? This is Patrick, and yes, I'm in my robe, and today I'm going to be talking to you about two different 35mm panoramic cameras. Those are going to be both the Hasselblad Xpan and the Horizon S3 Pro. So before we get started, yes, again, I'm in my robe, dad life. I just fed my daughter. It's been a crazy morning. I had to change her a bunch. We started using cloth diapers, and it's just been one of those days. But I really want to get this video out to you guys, and I just figure this is going to be the morning I do it. So let's jump into it. Before we get started talking specifically about the cameras, I just want to say that this video is going to be more about what the end result looks like with each camera. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you're watching this video. So, first up, let's just talk about the differences between each of these cameras. The Hasselblad Xpan is a rangefinder camera. You use your rangefinder and a rangefinder patch to focus in order to get the correct focusing. Whereas the Horizon has a fixed aperture of 2.8 and focus is determined by whatever aperture you end up selecting. It's kind of like a zone focusing camera, but you still can't really select the actual distance. This camera is a metal body camera. It's very durable and it has a nice weight to it, as well as a really nice grip. The Horizon S3 Pro is a plastic body. It is not metal, but I will say that it is a very durable body. It's not just like this thin, crappy plastic. It's actually really heavy duty. The Hasselblad Xpan, in terms of exposure, has an auto mode, which allows you to select the aperture and then the camera will choose the shutter speed, or it's obviously a completely manual camera, so you can select both the shutter speed and aperture. It also has the function of over or under compensation, so you can go +1 or +2, -1 or -2. The Horizon S3 Pro does not have any auto functions. It is a completely manual camera. Another major difference between these cameras, obviously if you're watching this video, you probably know, is the price. The Hasselblad Xpan is like a $4,000 camera in early 2021, and the Horizon S3 Pro is more like $150. So now getting to the final images, let's talk about the way that the camera chooses to render a scene. So the Hasselblad Xpan has more of a flat, even plane of focus, meaning that the film is stretched completely flat across the back of the camera. The Horizon S3 Pro actually stretches the film more in a curved manner, which creates a more atmospheric, distorted final image. The reason for this is because this panoramic camera actually has a swing lens. When the shutter button is pressed, the lens actually swings horizontally across the camera, exposing the film as it actually moves, okay? But now we're getting into what I think is the most important thing about each of these cameras, and that is what the final image looks like. The Hasselblad Xpan is going to create a much sharper image. It's going to create a more sterile, straight, even horizon line, whereas the Horizon S3 Pro or your Widelux, being a swing lens panoramic camera, is actually going to create a much more atmospheric scene. It's going to bend the horizon line. It's not going to be completely straight like the Xpan. It's actually going to have a slight curve to it because of the way the lens exposes on the film. And so you're left with either a really sterile, even plane or a really atmospheric plane. First, let me show you some sample images right now. The first set of sample images here I'm going to show you is from the Hasselblad Xpan. Okay, so now that you've seen those, I will show you some photos that I've taken with both the Horizon and the Widelux. Okay, so after seeing those images, you probably have more of a sense of what I'm talking about when it comes to the final image. And I'll be honest, I know that the Hasselblad Xpan is this really desired camera, but I actually prefer the final image of the Horizon or of a swing lens panoramic camera over that of the Hasselblad Xpan. And the reason for that is because I think that in today's digital age, and even a lot of the film world, is still really chasing that idea of perfect sharpness and no distortion. And to me, that is just a little boring. The Horizon actually offers us something a little bit different than what we see normally. There aren't really any cameras that are non-swing lens cameras that can create that kind of atmospheric distortion. And to me, that kind of final image actually is more intriguing for the viewer because we don't see it as much. And the way that it kind of warps and bubbles out actually almost creates a suction for the viewer, at least in my personal perspective. Of course, this is very subjective, but I think that when I view images from a swing lens panoramic camera like the Horizon or the Widelux, I actually feel like I'm sucked more into the scene. It's just a little bit more interesting to look at for a final image, especially a panoramic image. Anyways, thank you all. Again, thank you all for your support. Thank you guys. Anyway, I cannot do these endings. I hate doing the endings.
Why don't you just end it with a fart? Like just fart at the camera. Give the people what the people want.
I'll just do your end.
No.
Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
karma. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And for those of you who do follow me, I have more content for you, but if there's any videos or ideas that you have that you want to see from me in the future, leave those ideas down in the likes. leave those ideas down in the comment section below. Until next time.